please go eat that Maggi because that will prevent the aggravation of Vata.
Chai namkeen to is a complete no-no.
Most of them will have bloating, acidity or constipation. Mark my words. In Ayurveda, it is mentioned that you can consume goat meat. How about having fruits as dessert after meal? They will have an eroded tongue. That is mainly because this fruit gets fermented. Fruits are for the summers. Fruits can be consumed as per your body type. You are struggling with obesity, all the citrus fruits are for you.
What are common mistakes that we do in our day-to-day life damaging our gut over time?
The most common villain nowadays is a kind of commode. When you are sitting in a regular commode, it is at 90 degrees. You have to apply more pressure, actually making yourself more prone to piles. As per Ayurveda, rice is the best option. Jawar works for people who are towards the Karnataka side. You can make a curry with curd in it, but please don't cook it. Do not cook the curd. Each of the body type also have a certain kind of gut type. If chai was so bad, if coffee were so bad, people across the globe should have been killed by now, right? Many of them are actually getting better because of tea and coffee. Now, how do we reduce the heat of the coffee? By either adding the butter or by adding a cooling milk.
Dr. Alka Vijayan is an Ayurvedic physician and founder of Tanmatra Ayurveda in Thiruvananthapuram, Kerala. A graduate of the world's oldest Ayurveda college, she specializes in thyroid disorders, women's health and gut wellness. A former hypothyroid patient, Dr. Alka healed herself through Ayurveda and now helps others reverse or manage thyroid issues naturally.
Cancer is nothing but long-standing ama or inflammation paired with a high Vata. There is something called the evening ritual. Nabhi, as per Ayurveda, is actually a marma point. To apply the right kind of oil, it can stabilize your gut as well as your mind. Warm sesame oil with some amount of camphor will give you a nice good night's sleep. If you do not have acne, oil application on your face, not for your facial skin, this is actually for your brain.
Give us some gharelu nuskas or some herbal remedies.
If you're a typical Vata person, I would say start your day with a teaspoon of sesame oil and warm water. Perianal itching that happens during the night times. This is because the female pinworm comes out in the nights and lays egg around the anal part.
What are the kind of probiotics that each of these body types can consume naturally? She has collaborated with Amazon Mini TV and has been featured on Ayurvedic Healing and Beyond, Gut Story and Village Square, with her work also highlighted on the Government of India's Amrit Mahotsav. We're excited to welcome her for the very first time on the Body to Being podcast on the special episode of Gut Health, Dr. Alka Vijayan. Everyone knows that eating junk food, outside meals and eating at odd hours is not good for your gut. But here's the shocker. These might not be the biggest culprits. Did you know that early morning tea and coffee that you take on an empty stomach, or that afternoon nap, or eating when you're not feeling hungry, and sitting on the commode seat the way you do could be slowly and silently damaging your gut over time? Today we are going to be diving into gut health, the root cause of 90% of health issues, from hair fall to acne to skin issues, dandruff, stress and depression, thyroid and diabetes, low immunity, even fevers can all be traced back to an impaired gut. With our guest today, we're going to unpack a step-by-step masterclass on gut health, the foods that you should be eating and avoiding, the Ayurvedic routines and dinacharya that you should be following for a good gut health, some of the herbal concoctions, natural medicines tailored for specific conditions, and a lot more. Before we begin, I have a little request. We are one of India's leading English language channels centered around traditional healthcare system. Our endeavor is to bring to you time-tested solutions rooted in our ancient wisdom through a free masterclass that is accessible to everyone free of cost. So you can support our work by subscribing to our channel, sharing this video among others. In the description of this video, you'll also find a link where you can contribute to our foundation directly and continue in helping us bringing such content to you. Namaskaram, Dr. Alka Vijayan. Thank you so much for being a part of this podcast. I think this podcast is something that a lot of people are looking forward to. So let me ask you at the outset, what are some of the unique insights or the lesser known facts about the human gut that people don't really know of?
I think the first one is that we do not realize how important our gut is. Your gut is like the engine of your system. If your body is a vehicle, your gut is the engine. We always give credit to the brain, but we do not give enough credit to the gut.
Correct.
Because gut is actually capable of thinking. It digests your food and it also produces hormones. Approximately 20 hormones are made in the gut itself. So the first and foremost thing that any human should know is what is your gut type? What
Okay.
is your body type? The moment you understand this, there begins the game.
Before you go there, it is said that 90% of the health issues that a person has is because of an impaired gut health. Is that true?
Yes, very much.
What are some of the problems?
Okay, so some of the common issues that we fail to recognize as gut issues are acidity, bloating, burping, flatulence, constipation, diarrhea, post meal lethargy. We never give enough credit to these conditions. In fact, they are the alarming signs or the screams being sent from your gut trying to tell you that something is amiss, please look into me. So, the moment you have these issues, the food that you have consumed is actually not getting digested properly. It is not getting broken down into Sara and Pitta, which means nutrition and waste. Instead, a third metabolic byproduct called ama or slow toxin or something the closest to inflammation is being formed, which is why in today's world people keep saying that one of the main reason people are deceased is because of inflammation. It is actually the metabolic byproduct that is being created because you're eating the wrong kind of food for your body type.
So body type is very important.
Very important.
Okay.
So technically, the entire human population can be divided into 3 categories. It's more like an umbrella classification of the human race, I would say. Okay. Usually we get to hear that lean is Vata, the moderate built is Pitta, and
Correct.
the obese is Kapha. But let us make it more precise so that you can understand it better. Okay, if you have a dry gut, dry skin that is prone to bloating, dry hard pellet like stool, and you're anxiety prone, that is the Vata kind. Okay, it can be the prakriti, the body constitution that you are born with, or it can be something that you attain over a period of time because of your food, lifestyle, and stresses, and that is called vikriti, a state of imbalance. So both of these can come under the category of Vata. Now comes the second category, which is prone to acidity, diarrhea, loose bowels, anger issues, snappiness, heated body. This is the moderate built Pitta kind. And then comes the third category, which is happy-go-lucky, not very hungry kind, easily prone to obesity or gaining weight. That is a Kapha kind. So these 3 are the umbrella classification of human body type.
Which one would I be?
You will be the lean Vata kind.
Really?
Yes.
Okay. And you would be a
I am
Kapha
the
Vata?
I am the Kapha Vata kind.
Okay, because you have thick hair.
Yes.
Hai na?
And if you see, I have a rounded body. It's not a very lean frame. Just like we have body type, there is also something called the gut type or the type of Agni. Okay. Now, some have the appetite only for 2 meals per day. Okay. That is what you call the kind of gut you see in Kapha people. Now, some people are very frequently hungry.
Yeah.
Every 2 hours they are hungry. That is a Vata kind of gut. Now, if you ask me, that is not a healthy one. Okay, that is often found in people who have high Vata imbalance because of stress, not eating right, or doing a lot of fasting. That is what you call Vishamagni. And then there's a third kind of gut.
So if I'm feeling hungry frequently, I'm going to be a Vata kind of gut?
Yes, it is.
I thought it was Pitta, no?
No.
Oh.
That is the difference, If you have a Vata kind of gut,
Uh-huh.
you have frequent hunger, okay, frequent bouts of hunger,
Oh.
and then there's going to be a period where you do not feel hungry at all.
But Vata typically was associated with people having less digestive fire or less Agni, right? So why will I keep frequently?
So it's more like the forest fire. When there is breeze, there is more fire. When there is no breeze or the wind, the hunger is less.
Okay.
Now, if you have consistently high kind of appetite, it's the Pitta gut. It's called Tikshna Agni. Typically speaking, Manda Agni is the one that is found in Kapha people who have only 2 meals per day and they're quite sorted with it. Now, Tikshna Agni is like very high appetite. Like, breakfast, lunch, dinner, they need a good meal. Okay. And they can also feel hungry in between. Now, this consistency is maintained in the Pitta kind or Tikshna Agni kind. And then comes the Vata kind of people. Like, when the wind is high, the Vata is high, the appetite is just like forest fire.
Oh.
It engulfs everything. They can eat an entire table of food. And then comes a period when the hunger is dead. They don't feel like eating.
Right.
Okay. Now, this happens in people who do a lot of night shift, who have a lot of stress, who do evening workout, who do not eat as per the requirement of their body, who do calorie deficit kind of a diet and things like that. That leads to Vata imbalance.
So, doctor, you've helped break down a lot of interesting and very important concepts. Now, I'd like to come to the masterclass segment. In Ayurveda, it is said that food is medicine. So, from the gut health point of view, if you can take us through a morning to night routine, what are the kinds of foods that I could consume for each of the prakritis? I could be a Vata, Pitta, Kapha, morning to night. What should my food look like so that my gut health, my digestive system is in a great shape and condition?
For a Vata person, start your day with a cup of warm water with cumin seeds in it. That will take care of the air the dry air that is circulating inside your system, and also help in removing that mild mucoid lining, mucous medium that is there inside your gut. Once the appetite sets in, I would say please have your warm beverage with any form of milk.
What time?
Okay, for the next hunger. Always based on your Agni, your body asks. Okay, if you are hungry before your breakfast time, then happens a beverage, not otherwise. Okay, so if you want to have something before your workout, yoga, because you are hungry, then milk is the best thing, and you can infuse some nutmeg, turmeric, and then consume. Okay, this will aid in the process of digestion of the milk and keep you satiated till breakfast. Coming to breakfast, when you are hungry, you should be having a warm meal. That is because, like as I mentioned earlier, during the morning hours from 6 to 10 is a sluggish period of the day, right? The day is just kicking in, your body is just getting activated. You don't need to eat like a king. You just need to eat as per your hunger. A warm meal with some condiments is the best thing. Okay, so you can have your broken wheat dalia. You can have your rice-based roti. This is a perfect time to have it. In fact, you can have your methi parantha at this point. Methi parantha.
Dry?
No,
Or
it
with
is not
something?
dry. It's not dry. Okay, you mean dry with... with
Like
some-
standalone, because standalone could become dry. So
No,
like
no.
with a liquid.
You need to have it with your raita.
Okay.
That is why the raita happens. If you see, Ayurveda has never said no to raita. Ayurveda has never said no to curd. In fact, in the extreme Vata cases, Ayurveda says you need curd because you need that fat containing, probiotic rich, Agni promoting, appetite promoting curd. And now when you pair it with the right kind of condiments like cumin, salt, coriander leaves, and then thoda sa moong dal to remove that mucoid nature, it is the best. So your methi parantha, ajwain parantha happens with the raita. This is the best breakfast option. Number is depend on your hunger.
Okay.
Next, you don't need anything till the next appetite. In case if you feel hungry in between, happens the midday fruit. In fact, midday is the right time to have the fruit that you're craving for.
Okay.
Very hungry?
Not
go
on
for
an empty stomach, but you're saying Vata may not even feel like it. They may not
Exactly.
want to have.
This is just to survive till your lunch appetite.
Okay.
So if you're very hungry, like as I said earlier, for them it keeps varying. There is stress, more hunger. No stress, no hunger.
Yeah.
Okay. So if you're very hungry, in between happens the banana, guava, papaya. Amazing fruits for the Vata kind. Just enough to keep you satiated till lunch. Okay. Now for lunch, you're going to need a good carb. A carb will be rice or wheat for you. No millets, quinoa, barley. Okay. You're going to need the right vegetable for you.
Would rice, brown rice, white rice?
Depending on whatever is staple to you. You're looking for weight loss, then brown rice. You are a person from the southern part of India and are used to the matta red rice. Go ahead, that's what you need.
Okay.
Okay. Now if you're used to the white rice, ideally unpolished rice, then go for that. Because if you're not used to it, if it is not satmya to that itself will lead to indigestion. I know a lot of people who went into indigestion the moment they switched to red rice.
Okay.
Okay. So always choose the rice based on what is satmya to you, what you're used to. It can be basmati, sona masuri, matta, based on whatever you are used to. Next, coming to the kind of vegetable. If you are a Vata person, you are going to need more starchy vegetables because there is already less of kapha element in you, groundedness in you. So we need to ground you. So that is where the carrot, radish, beetroot, yam, sweet potato happens. So it is not bad for a highly Vata person. This I'm talking about for a regular person who's leading a mundane social life, who are held up in the daily chaos of life.
Yeah.
So that happens to be the best for a Vata person. That's with respect to the vegetable. Then comes the gravy side dish, because Ayurveda always says that 25% of your meal portion has to be liquid. It can be either warm water or it can be a liquid side dish.
Like a dal or something?
Yeah, the dal,
Soups.
sambar, rasam,
Okay.
then the curry. All of these are amazing. And if you can have a probiotic element in it, all the more better. Say, for example, you can make a curry with curd in it, but please don't cook it. Do not cook the curd.
Okay. But in curry, it's all about cooking the curd.
Yes. Ayurvedically, if you have to cook it,
Yeah.
make the base, add the curd once it cools down. Because
Okay.
curd is already heating. It is pitta aggravating. And
ha.
Ayurveda clearly says that do not heat it, do not cook it, do not consume it during summers.
Okay.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
So you are going to.
So in the summers, instead of curd, I can consume buttermilk or raita maybe.
You can have sweet lassi. You can actually reduce the heat by adding the mishri, gulkand, raisins. That will cool down. Same thing can be changed as per the climate that you're going through. So now we have covered the carb, we have covered the fibrous part, then the gravy or the liquid part. Now coming to the protein part. Here you should be opting for the kind of protein that contains fat. So it's not just about protein powder. You need to have a protein with fat, like you have paneer, you can have egg.
Vata, we're
or
talking
meat.
about Vata, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And then you can have the moong dal, the safest of the bet. Moong dal that has been soaked overnight, cooked, and added with a lot of ghee. So that is how you choose your protein. So this is the best for a Vata person for lunch. And never swap the ratio of the fiber, protein, or carb. Carb has to be minimum 50%. Then you have 25% of protein and vegetables. Okay, you do it otherwise, you'll end up with constipation.
Uh-huh. Okay.
Now coming to the evening snack. In case if you feel hungry in the evening, you love milk. There are a lot of people who love milk. You can go for milk. You badly want that chai, reduce the amount of chai pata,
Yeah.
and then consume. Or you can have nuts, seeds, dry fruits. In fact, that's the best time to have it.
But for Vata people, having dry fruits would be drying for their system, no?
No, actually you can soak and consume it. Because it's ultimately sweet. It is ultimately guru. It is heavy. That sweetness, that heaviness is actually required for the Vata person. In fact, ghee roasted raisins are amazing. Ghee roasted prunes are amazing. Then dates with butter filling, they just love it.
Okay.
So these are the best evening snack for the Vata people.
Yeah.
Then coming to the dinner. Here you can have your slightly heavier meal. Okay, but not so heavy that it leads to indigestion. That is because a Vata people generally tends to be very active throughout the day because of their basic nature. And now if you have a very patla or very light khichdi, okay, that can actually make you feel bloated. Which is why you see many people ending up with having dry fruits, nuts, or chocolates, or the dates after meal because they are not really satiated with their meal. So understand your body type and repeat the same thing that you had for lunch, or you can even go for a fulka.
Okay.
But don't make it too light because then you'll start craving for things.
Uh-huh. Okay.
So soups might not be enough for you. Khichdi might not be enough for you.
What about salads? You didn't mention the salads. In the evening for a Vata, it's a no-no?
It's an absolute no. In fact, that becomes the reason for your insomnia or inability to get sleep because of the same.
So salad, one Vata Prakriti can have in the afternoon.
I would say, why bother with salads? Cook and consume it, no?
Okay. But you know what, we tend to say in yoga that when you have raw food, your level of alertness is greater vis-a-vis cooked food. So what about that then?
That is because when you're having raw food, the amount of fat being used is lesser. Now, this becomes beneficial only when you have that kind of sliminess, sluggishness, kapha imbalance in your body, right?
Yeah.
If you do not have that, you're
Okay.
just drying up your system all the more.
Okay.
Okay. So,
But what if I put a little bit of olive oil? and
if you can
consume?
add olive oil, salt, lemon,
Yeah.
and then consume it as a whole meal. Don't pair it up with your regular meal. No, in fact, that can be a good midday snack for you. That is in case of a Vata person, and you can end your day with a cup of warm milk and ghee. That is only if you have an empty, hungry stomach or you have insomnia. Otherwise, you don't need it. So we have covered the Vata part. Now coming to the Pitta people. Pitta people, the moment they wake up in the morning, they have a great bowel. Now they are all hungry. So keep your hunger under check. You need something that cools down their body or the Agni. So start your day with fennel infused water, and you can also go for crushed coriander seed water.
Crushed coriander seed water would be, can you give us the specifications?
Okay, so you are going to need 1 tablespoon of crushed coriander seeds. Boil it in 1.5 cups of water. Reduce it to 1 cup. Filter it and then consume it room temperature.
Okay, fennel?
Fennel. And with respect to fennel seeds, you are going to need 1/4 teaspoon fennel seeds. Boil it in 1.5 cups of water. Reduce it to 1 cup and then consume in room temperature. Now, if you have a lot of body heat, what you can also do is infuse these overnight in boiled water and filter it the next day morning, consume it room temperature. Such kind of preparations, Ayurveda call it as Bhanda Kalpana. Bhanda means keeping it overnight and cooling it down. So that is with respect to your morning drink for a Pitta person. Next, when you are hungry, you can actually go for your parantha. So the parantha is basically good for these kind of people. Like, you have your stuffed parantha. Then you can have sweet potatoes. You can have your dalia. So this is great for such people.
What about fruits?
Fruits are not good for the morning consumption. If at all you want to have, keep it for 10 o'clock. Because since these Pitta folks are having quite an early meal, by 10, 11 they're going to actually feel hungry. That is when you're going to need something that has more grounding, like the muskmelon.
Okay.
Have your fruit then. Have the dragon fruit, which is again more grounding. So anything that has more mass is what is
More
required.
watery.
More earth element.
Okay. But, dragon fruit, muskmelon is also very watery in nature.
Unlike watermelon,
Yeah.
muskmelon is not that watery.
Okay.
It has got more of earth element. It's more
Okay.
more
pulpy.
more pulpy.
Yeah.
Yes, that kind of one. That is the best for a Pitta person. So by midday, you're actually going to need a ball of either cucumber or carrot, muskmelon. They are going to savor it.
Okay, so cooling your system basically.
Yes, cooling your system.
Thand karo.
Yeah. So fruits, salads are amazing for the Pitta people for their midday snack. Then for the mornings, we have already covered. You can go for either akhi roti, rice vermicelli upma, stuffed parantha, sweet potato. These are good for the Pitta people. You don't need a lot of spicy, sour, saltiness, because the reason why you have spice or salt with your breakfast is to help in the process of digestion. Now the Pitta people automatically have a good Agni, so you don't need a lot. Okay, so even if you have slightly sweeter kind of breakfast, it is okay. So sweeter breakfast is for them. Now coming to the lunch part, you can either go for rice or roti. If you're looking for weight loss, nothing like barley. Barley cools down your body.
Even diabetes, for diabetes,
yes,
right?
Yes.
Yeah.
In fact, that is the reason why it is recommended for insulin resistance, pre-diabetes, diabetes. Okay, so barley is amazing for
And
that.
a lot of Pitta people are predisposed to diabetes,
Yes,
right?
they are.
Yeah.
Because they have a tendency to eat more.
Yeah.
And the metabolism is high, inflammation is high. So, yes. So, the best kind of carb for you is barley. Barley, and to some extent, you can also go for wheat, because not everybody likes barley. Now, coming to the vegetables, gourds are the best for you. Okay, because they are watery, they are cooling. Now, coming to the protein part.
Gourds would be rich gourd, ash gourd also maybe.
Yes.
Ash gourd, rich gourd.
Ash gourd, rich gourd, bottle gourd, snake gourd. Ivy gourd is the best. Ayurveda says like nothing like ivy gourd, especially when you are predisposed to diabetes.
Okay.
Okay.
For Vata, what are the vegetables that you would suggest?
The tubers. Tubers are the best. And if you're a Vata person, don't want to have a lot of tuberous vegetables, then I would say go for ivy gourd. Nothing like ivy gourd, because it has both the properties. It cools down your system, has the groundedness, unlike the rest of the airy, watery gourd vegetables.
Okay.
Coming to the gravy part, you're going to need something that is not very spicy. Therefore, dals are the best for you. Masoor dal, moong dal, then urad dal. All of these are amazing for a Pitta person. And this also involves the protein-rich part. So you don't need it separate. If at all you're very particular, egg whites can be considered, because everybody is after so much of protein in the wake of wanting to lose weight. But otherwise, I would say this is enough for you. And if you are looking for something else for probiotic, I would say go for brined amlas. Amla that has been put in salted water is great for you. Even amla murabba is great. Okay, that also keeps the Pitta low in your body, does not increase your body heat, and also takes care of your digestion. And now, coming for the evening appetite, this is where you're going to need something a bit more heavier. The dry fruits, nuts are not going to be enough for you. For the Pitta people, in the evenings, if you're hungry, then you can have the sundals. Sundals are basically lentils, which has been soaked overnight, cooked without adding a lot of fat. Just the salt and thoda sa condiments will take care of it. Either moong dal, black gram, or masoor dal, or even urad dal in the form of sundal is amazing for you. This also helps in losing the body weight, excess body weight, and keeps you satiated for a longer period. And when it comes to dinner, you're going to need solid food, but not too heavy. That is because you do not want to gain weight. Pitta people can easily gain weight. So increase the amount of protein, like we have done for the lunch. Reduce the amount of carb a little bit to 40%. And you can make the protein portion approximately 30 to 40%. And the vegetables can be 20 to 30%. Okay, this way understand the proportion. And at bedtime, you do not need any snack. Please sleep early, because otherwise you remain awake beyond 10 o'clock. You'll end up binge eating like any others, because during the night Pitta Kala, which is between the 10 and 2, there is going to be a rise in appetite. Because if you usually sleep before 10, this rise in appetite wouldn't happen.
Correct.
But if you stay up late, you'll end up binge eating, and this itself will lead to weight gain. Okay. So that is about the Pitta people. Now coming to the Kapha folks. In the morning, when you wake up, have a cup of dry ginger infused water or caram infused water. This will take care of the sluggishness and your bowel evacuation first thing in the morning. For the first appetite, directly go to breakfast or rather brunch. Generally, the Kapha people, the stout Kapha people who have a sluggish metabolism, do not feel hungry till 10, 11. Okay, so you can go for brunch. In fact, you can start your day with salads. And for these people, having a salad meal with quinoa in it is okay. Or you can even have millet rotis. You guys are the best for millets. Okay, you can have millet rotis, then the gourd vegetables, green leafy vegetables, fibrous vegetables like okra. This is the best for you. For your lunch, if you're hungry, then you can repeat the same thing. But ensure that you have buttermilk. You know, buttermilk is not for everybody. In fact, it is for those people who have sluggish metabolism, kapha imbalance, or are looking for weight loss. Which is why some people get acidity, acidic belching. They even get prone to tonsillitis, then discomfort in their throat, or even feeling bloated. That is because your body type does not need buttermilk. Because buttermilk is very thin and light. That kind of lightness suits only the kapha people who have excess fat in their system.
Or excess heat.
Excess heat, yes.
Yeah.
Excess heat can also be tackled, provided you are adding cumin seeds and coriander leaves into the same.
Okay.
So that is where you go for the buttermilk. Then directly go for the second meal of the day, which is the supper. You do not need 3 meals. Go for the supper. Again, go for either barley, quinoa, or millets. Green leafy vegetables are amazing for you because they not just help in removing the fat, they also aid in weight loss and also better bowel evacuation.
Okay.
In fact, for such people, having up to half the plate fibrous vegetable helps. The cruciferous vegetables like cabbage, cauliflower, this is suitable for them. Tuberous vegetables are a definite no, not even aloo. I know it tastes amazing, but it is not for you guys.
Sweet potato?
No, you don't need it.
Because you just add
Yes.
more weight and more earth element.
Yes, earth element. So that is about the evening food. And at bedtime, try to have some kind of calming drink like blue pea tea, chamomile tea, or you can go for Brahmi tea. That's enough. Do not add milk. You do not need milk. In fact, I would say the life of a kapha person is generally easy.
Yeah.
2 meals
Yeah.
are enough. They're not easily that stressed.
Yeah.
They're basically the sorted kind.
Yeah.
The only flaw is that they're slightly towards the heavier side.
Yeah, that's all. Yeah. Happy-go-lucky. They don't care. I have
Exactly.
hair on my head. I don't have hair on my head. Doesn't matter. I'm getting whatever. You know, they're very,
They're very
chilled
chill
out.
about it.
And very friendly, no?
Very friendly.
sweet, very friendly.
Very easy to get along.
Yeah.
The Vata people, they struggle a lot inside out. Internally, they're struggling with a lot of overthinking. Then in their gut, they have constipation, bloating, and all those kind of troubles. And then mentally, they're easily prone to anxiety, palpitation, overthinking, anxiety. And they also struggle with dry skin, dry hair. These people inside out struggle. And therefore, Ayurveda says, either you need to have a sama prakriti, where the 3 doshas are in balance, or you need to have a kapha prakriti, because you're happy-go-lucky. In fact, aging doesn't hit you that hard.
For a kapha?
Yes. In fact, menopause is so much easier for them. But a Vata person struggles. They start struggling from the age of 35, 38. The symptoms starts kicking in. Okay? So even these phases of life are quite difficult based on your body type, just like the way stress is.
Got it. Doctor, what are some of the hidden villains or the common mistakes that we do in our day-to-day life that are silently damaging our gut over time?
You see, we have got so many trends nowadays. There is the protein trend, high fiber trend, then there is the millet trend, then there is drinking a lot of water. When you go overboard with any of these, those becomes the hidden villains. So let's begin with the millet thing. There came in a period when everybody was, I think it was year 2023 or 2024, it was hailed as the millet year.
Yeah.
Then almost everybody started hopping onto the millets. And then there came in a population who started experiencing a lot of constipation, pimples, reddish bumps all over their face, broken sleep, and bloating. That is because without understanding your body type, if you consume the wrong kind of grain, it will give you more trouble. Okay. So the first one is not understanding your body type and eating the wrong kind of grain. If you're a kapha person, you are going to need those millets. The second thing, today we have the protein diet, protein rich diet or a lot of protein supplements happening. Going overboard with the same, without understanding your Agni, the capability of your Agni or the digestive enzymes to break it down.
Protein industry is a $28 billion industry.
Yes. And they have duped you into believing that almost every health issue that you have today is because you're not having ample protein, when in actual, it is because you're not eating the right food for your body type. Like as I said, the body is constantly trying to balance through the day, through the seasons, through different ages of your life. Be it the early Kapha Kala, the growing up phase, or be the Pitta Kala, the middle age of your life, the heated Pitta phase of your life, or the aging Vata phase of your life. Each period of your life, each period of the season, each period of the year, each period of the day needs a different kind of food. It is never the same. It is not that protein is going to save you throughout your life. The right kind of protein for the right kind of body helps you. Otherwise, it will give you more bloating, constipation, raised uric acid, and even liver and kidney issues if you are prone to it.
Even cancer.
Yes.
Correct?
Even cancer,
excessive protein.
Yes, excessive protein can even lead to that because you have actually created imbalance in your system, leading to the formation of inflammation. What is long-standing inflammation? That itself is the reason for so many autoimmune conditions, hormonal imbalances, even conditions like cancer today. People don't understand why it is happening, but Ayurvedically understood, cancer is nothing but long-standing ama or inflammation paired with a high Vata. The erratic tendency of the cells of your body to multiply without even having a self-control. So it can even lead to these kind of complications if you do not consume it by understanding your body type.
So you would say that all of this is hype? The protein shakes, bars, biscuits, powders.
Yes. All of these falls into the same category, especially when you do not consume it with the right base, right vehicle. There are some people who consume it with water. If you see, they are highly prone to bloating. There are some others who consume it with yogurt. They actually benefit a bit more because protein powder, as it is, if you see, is actually a drying powder, which is the reason why you're getting that bloating and constipation. So when you pair it with something that contains fat and the probiotics, it becomes easier to be digested. In fact, there is this combination I keep telling my people that if at all you're particular about having that protein powder, pair it with the yogurt or curd and then add some dry dragon fruit into it, because dragon fruit contains that mucilaginous coating, right? Which helps in relieving the constipation.
Yeah.
So this protein gets absorbed without creating trouble and gets eliminated as well, whichever is not required for your body.
Okay.
So that is the second villain, not understanding your body type and hopping onto the different trends that is coming your way.
So millets, you said, if I'm a Vata body type, since it's drying in nature, I shouldn't be having millets?
Yes.
I should not, or should I lessen?
I would say if you're high on Vata, extremely dry gut,
Yeah.
extreme dry skin, dry hair, extreme bloating and highly anxious, skip it. You don't need it.
But what if I soak it in water overnight and have it?
Still doesn't help. So
Okay.
soaking makes it easier to digest.
What about ragi? Ragi, I heard, is can be had.
Ragi powder that you get in the package tray has got a lot of fiber. You don't need so much of fiber for a Vata person. If you're still very particular, I would say soak the whole ragi overnight. Blend it. Take out its milk alone. Cook it in milk. Either coconut milk or the
Okay.
cow's milk, and then consume it is much more easier. In fact, that's the
Okay.
only way that you should be giving it to your toddler for the infants.
Okay.
Because if you give it along with that much of fiber, that itself will start giving you body rashes. Body rashes and even constipation and bloating.
Okay.
So I give ragi malt and ragi porridge for different body types. Ragi malt, the one without fiber, is for the Vata people, if you're very particular about having it and you love its flavor. In fact, you can use jaggery as the sweetener out there, along with coconut milk, okay? And if you want to lose weight, then you can have ragi porridge, which is using the ragi flour. And then if you are looking for some good amount of probiotic in it, go for ragi with some java, in the form of java, which is adding buttermilk. That way, understanding your body type, the reason why I do not recommend ragi for the Vata kind is because it's drying. You don't need any more dryness, okay? Go for something nourishing, like the rice. Like the non-genetically modified kind of wheat.
Okay. What about Pitta? If I'm a Pitta, can I take millets?
I would say you can go for jawar.
Okay.
Jawar is cooling in nature. So if you have a heated body, I would say go for jawar, especially if you're prone to diarrhea. Then in that case, it helps. Okay, but if you're that lean kind of Pitta, like in a very angry, agitated and lean kind, don't bother with it. Your body does not need it.
Okay.
If you're on towards the slightly heavy side with the Pitta kind, then you can.
Okay.
That's because of the difference in the associated dosha type.
Yes.
One is Pitta Vata, the other one is Pitta Kapha.
Yes. That's another thing I would like for you to explain to people, that many people think, oh, I'm a Vata, I'm a Pitta, I'm a Kapha, but actually you aren't. You're a combination of the two Prakritis, right?
In fact, if you are a Vata,
Yeah.
you will be air.
Yeah.
Got it. Because what is Vata? Vata is basically air.
Yeah.
You are a combination of the three doshas. You are a combination of the Pancha Mahabhutas.
Yeah.
Prithvi, Up, Tejas, Vayu and Akasha. Vayu and Akasha leads to Vata. Okay, so you are never Vata alone, because if you were Vata, you would be just thin air. If you were Pitta alone, you would be just fire. And if you were Kapha, you would be just earth, which you are not. You are a combination of the three, but one of these are predominant. You are slightly more airy, you are slightly more heated, you are slightly more earthy and happy-go-lucky. Ultimately, whatever kind of food, practice, stressors, lifestyle habits that we try to understand what has it done to your body type.
Correct.
What has it done to the three doshas? And then the moment you fix it, it is actually sorted. Because no matter what, your body is not supposed to feel any kind of discomfort ultimately. Because Ayurvedically understood, health is samadosha. No symptoms. No heat, no cold, no constipation, no bloating, no acidity, no hair fall, no brain fog, no over alertness. Everything in balance.
Yeah.
Samadhatu. Your body should be proportionate. Not that you need to have a 36, 24, 36 kind of figure. You are lean, you remain lean. You are moderate built, remain moderate. You are the stout, rounded. Be a healthy, stout and rounded. Not with a pot belly that is hanging out. That is Samadosha and Samadhatu. Sama Agni. Your appetite should be Sama. Either 2 proper meals, 3 proper meals, depending on your body type. And then you need to have a Prasanna Atma Indriya Manaha. Okay? You need to have a mind that is happy. Atma that is able to live in a happy body. Content body, sorted mind. Okay? This is health. So, constantly our efforts are towards bringing your body towards that state wherein your body is able to function from the morning till the evening, because Ayurveda says your functioning hours are 6 a.m. to 6 p.m.
Okay.
You wake up in the morning such that you can start functioning from 6 a.m. and by 6 p.m. as the sun sets, you are supposed to start winding down, which people rarely do in today's world.
You start winding on. I think they're beginning to wake up at that time.
Exactly. Now, if you ask me, there's something called the Ayurvedic clock. It is best to be explained with respect to tropical climate or the tropical regions of the world, where the sun rises approximately at 6 a.m. and sun sets approximately at 6 p.m. Okay? During the early morning hours, when the sun is just rising, the atmosphere or the nature is slightly sluggish. Body is also sluggish. You should be ideally waking up before that. You should be actually waking up at least during Brahma Muhurt, and that is when your body is the lightest. You actually feel more alert, more active. Now, this can't happen when you go to bed by 12.
Yeah.
In fact, you should not be doing that, because that leads to more imbalance, more Vata imbalance. So, which is why it is very important to wind down by 6 p.m. Okay, have an early dinner, and within 3 hours of sunset, you should be actually going off to bed. So the evening
within 3 hours of sunset.
Yes.
So within
which is like 6:30. Before 6:30, you can have your dinner, and by 9:30, 10, you need to go off to bed, because 6 to 10 is the evening kafakala, the winding down, slowing down phase of the evening. You should not be stimulating your body by working out in the evening, because that affects the hormones and your sleep cycle. So evening kafakala, which is 6 p.m. to 10 p.m., wind down. Take it easy. Allow your body and mind to calm down. In fact, there is something called the evening ritual I keep telling my patients to do, which is keep away your gadgets at least for 60 or 90 minutes before bed. Pick up a book. Now, before picking up the book, do a nice Padabhyanka. Then do Nabi Puran. Then have something soothing and calming for your mind before bed. So, ideally, what you should be doing is, throughout the day, if you see, our feet bears the weight of the body. It's the most active. And there are approximately 200 million neurons that are actually there in the feet. You need to calm it down, and they are directly connected to the brain. So, the best way to calm down your feet, calm down the neurons, the nervous system, and the brain is to apply any kind of oil, depending on your body type, on your feet. Give a nice massage before going to bed. Achha. If you're a Pitta kind, go for cow's ghee or coconut oil. If you're a Vata kind, you can go for sesame oil. If you're a Kapha kind, the stout, rounded Kapha kind, you can go for mustard oil.
So just rub it on the soles of my feet.
Yes, give a nice massage. You can also do some marma techniques if you know, otherwise don't bother.
Okay.
But otherwise just apply. And in fact, if you keep getting calf muscle cramps, many people do get that.
Yeah. Especially postmenopausal women.
Postmenopause, those who are physically very active, or the kids who are running around a lot. This is because of either Vata imbalance, or because your hemoglobin is low. So for hemoglobin, of course, you're going to need other remedies. But to begin with, you can at least give a downward massage using sesame oil. Warm sesame oil with some amount of camphor in, nothing like that. It'll give you a nice good night's sleep.
Okay, how much camphor?
Say for 1 teaspoon of sesame oil, you can use 1 or 2 pinches of camphor.
Okay, just mix it and then apply.
Yes.
And I can massage my feet also with camphor?
Yes. Okay. Yes, you can do that. So that is the first thing that you need to do. Second, you can do Nabhi Puran. Nabhi, as per Ayurveda, is actually a marma point. And to that marma point, if you apply the right kind of oil, it can actually stabilize your gut as well as your mind. That is because your gut is connected to your brain through the vagus nerve. So you calm down your gut with the right kind of oil. Say, for example, ghee for a Pitta person. Somebody whose Agni is very high, you want to calm it down, you want to stabilize it, go for A2 cow's ghee, 2 drops. Now, if you are a Vata person, highly restless, anxious kind of a person, then you can go for sesame oil. Now, if you're highly constipated, then you can go for castor oil. So depending on your body type, use the right kind of oil, give a clockwise direction massage, because that is how your samana
in the
vayu
navel.
works. Yes, which is from the direction of your liver to the spleen. So that is the clockwise direction massage that you need to give. Now, when you give that kind of massage, it takes care of your samana vayu, which is your Agni or the gut health. It will also take care of your uterine functioning, the reproductive health functioning, and also your bowel status. So this is one quick remedy for all those people who are struggling with gut issues and reproductive health issues. Do this based on your body type.
Okay.
If you are a kapha person, you can go for castor oil, or if you're prone to constipation, then again you can go for castor oil.
Okay, so just put some in my navel and then massage it,
Yes,
right?
massage in the circular direction. Do it nicely for 3 to 4 minutes before going to bed. You will see immediate relief.
Wow.
And you can also add some lavender essential oil, because it actually is a good neurotonic or a nervine tonic. It immediately helps in settling your highly anxious mind. So this I have seen great result for those people who are highly the Vata kind. Okay, or you can infuse Jatamansi herb. That is also good.
In the ghee, in the castor oil, in
Yes.
the coconut oil,
Yes,
depending
yes.
on the Prakriti type.
Yes, depending
Okay.
on the. Now the third thing that you can do is applying oil on your face. If you do not have acne, or you're not highly prone to cystic acne kind of a thing, then you can go for oil application on your face. This again is not for your facial skin. This is actually for your brain.
And for your gut.
Yes, it is also for your brain and for your gut. Say, for example, you can go for Kumkumadi Tela. That is good for your skin, plus it helps in calming down the anxious mind. Now, if you are struggling with insomnia, then you can go for sesame oil that has been infused with milk, and then apply it on your bregma. Your bregma is a point out here, which is like 4 points from your 8 points, 8 fingers from your eyebrows. That is a marma point wherein you can apply this oil, say 5 drops. Before going to bed, it will give you a good night's sleep. Kapha people are generally very easy to get sleep. They don't need much of remedies. They go to bed and they are knocked out.
Okay.
It's the Vata and the Pitta people who struggle a lot, because their body is so anxious and so utilized throughout the day. Because Vata people, even if they are not doing a lot of things, they utilize the energy by just talking and walking. Okay? And the Pitta people are so aggressive in life and career. They keep utilizing their energy. And the Kapha people, they already have so much of stored energy.
Yeah.
Okay, so they barely do things. Even if they do things, they don't do it outside their comfort zone. And so because of which, they are very easy to get sleep.
But ideally, I'm assuming the Vata and the Pitta, because of their nature, should get tired at the end of the day, and they should be the first ones to sleep, na? Why is...
That's because when you're so used up, what happens? Dryness sets in. When there is dryness, what happens? Your body does not get sleep easily. Then you need to give that extra fat, which is why we are applying oil on the feet, navel, face, and even on the scalp. In fact, Ayurveda says that you should be applying hair oil on a daily basis. Yes, Shiro Abhyangam Nityam Acharet, which means you should be applying oil on your scalp on a daily basis. This is not for hair growth. This is to actually keep your brain, your mind, anxious mind under check. In fact, if you see, most of the hair oil that Ayurveda recommends contains nervine tonics or nootropic herbs like Brahmi, Jatamansi, Ashwagandha, Bala. These herbs are the ones that are being used, even Bringaraj. So these are actually not for hair growth. In fact, hair growth is just a side effect that you're getting. In fact, it's just a bonus that you're getting. This is to basically calm down your mind. So if you see, in today's world, even the young kids are struggling with anxiety, overthinking, palpitation, anger issues, snappiness, right? And we all have actually tried staying away from applying oil
Yes.
for the cosmetological reasons.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah.
Right. The moment you start applying oil, you will see that your sleep is getting better. You will see that you're feeling more grounded. In fact, what is a virtue that you need to feel more grounded? You need that kapha element in you. And where does the kapha element come in? It comes from the different kinds of fats, ghee, oil, and even milk. Which is why Ayurveda recommends that you should be having food ideally before sunset or at least 3 hours before bed, so that by bedtime you are almost empty stomach and slightly hungry. Okay, so that you can have your milk, and with that milk you will get a good night's sleep. You should not be having milk otherwise. In fact, if you have a sluggish gut, constipation prone gut, then you should be infusing nutmeg, dry ginger powder into your milk, well diluted milk. See, I would say you can go for 50 to 75 ml milk only, ideally the A2 cow's milk or the farm fed or the grass fed, not like the broiler cow's milk, which is like, sedentary and staying at one place, like you have the industrially obtained milk. Not that kind of milk. We are talking about the ones that is allowed to walk around or roam around. The milk will be lighter.
Free grazing cows, basically.
Yes, free grazing cow.
Okay. So A2 milk?
A2 is also much more easier to be digested when in comparison to A1. So that kind of milk, when used in dilution with the right kind of herb, will give you a good night's sleep. Now, if you're prone to frequent respiratory tract infection, add some turmeric. Now, if you want a good night's sleep, nothing like adding saffron and jatamansi. So if you see
how much?
With respect to jatamansi, 2 grams will do the job.
Okay.
And for saffron strands, 5 to 8 strands. This will do the job. So infuse it, boil it well, and consume it warm. This will take care of your sleep. Now, in the absence of hunger or in the absence of feeling empty stomach, if you have that milk, it will give you cough, cold, phlegm and sinusitis.
Okay.
Okay, so you need to know what your body is looking for.
Yeah.
In fact, that is a kind of awareness each human needs to have so as to take care of themselves. It's not one size fits all. Okay, so these are the evening rituals that you need to do. So have early dinner. In fact, do not push your dinners for 7:30, I would say. Have it for the evening appetite. If you see, a person who is sleeping early, waking up early, starting your day early, will feel hungry for breakfast around 8-9, lunch around 1:30, and even around 4:35, 5:30, they'll feel hungry.
Yeah.
I would say utilize that appetite for dinner
Okay.
so that you're not munching on something, unnecessarily giving you calories, leading to weight gain. Have an early dinner and end your day with milk, with warm water or a spoon of ghee, provided there is no inflammation.
A spoon of ghee, like just a spoon?
Yes,
Okay.
followed by
Or
warm water. Followed by warm
everyone can do that, Vata, Pitta, Kapha?
I would say a Vata or a Pitta person, because they are hungry, they can have.
Correct, because there was one doctor, an Ayurveda Acharya, very seasoned one, who came in and said that you should have multiple, 7 to 8 spoons of ghee every day.
I would say understand your body type.
Okay.
Consume if your body needs.
Yeah.
I look like a kapha.
Yeah,
Okay?
yeah.
But I'm highly functional, because of which my Vata is also slightly raised, because like I start my day in the morning by 4:30 and till the time I go to bed, my brain is being overutilized.
Okay.
Now, if I don't consume ghee, I'll feel dry and constipated. But if I have 7 to 8 teaspoons of ghee in a given day, the next day morning I'll be constipated because of that excess kapha, excess fat. So understand your body type. If you are an
Okay.
extremely lean kind of person,
Yeah.
consuming a lot of drying food,
Yeah.
or you are a vegetarian who consumes a lot of lentils, because if you see, lentils, green leafy vegetables and pulses are highly drying. In fact, Ayurveda says that don't consume these regularly unless and until it is moong dal.
Acha, lentils should not be had every day. Dals basically should not be had every day.
Yes, Ayurveda clearly says that in Ashtanga Hridaya. It says if at all you want to have it as moong dal. It can be split. It can be the whole moong dal. But soak it overnight, cook it in ghee, or cook it in the right kind of fat with condiments. Then you can have. Because the very nature of lentils and pulses is to dry your system. If you see, everything under the sun has got a property. You need to understand the property and consume it accordingly. In fact, Ayurveda says for health, you don't need a lot of food. You just need rice, moong dal, gourd vegetables, buttermilk, ghee, thoda sa sendha namak, and mishri. And you're sorted. Okay? This is enough for health. Anything beyond this is luxury.
Oh.
Okay? Making your plate colorful, having a lot of dry fruits, nuts,
Yeah,
seeds.
yeah, yeah.
Like, all the things that you have today, accessible easily because we can afford to, is actually giving us inflammation. If you see today, people are more diseased than ever. What has happened? We have easy access to all these tough to be digested food. The next hidden villain is actually fiber. Today, people have a tendency to add a lot of fiber onto their plate, thinking that that is actually going to help them. In fact, I had a patient recently who was complaining of constipation no matter what we do. Then we actually tried of looking into our plate, and it was actually 60% fibrous vegetables, 30% carb, and just 10 to 15% was the probiotic things. And her body type was a Vata kind. So what we try to do is we reduce the portion of fiber, and that itself actually fixed her constipation.
Okay.
So more of fiber is good if you have a sluggish gut. Because fiber again is good only when you have a lot of slimy mucoid medium inside, which is actually trying to suck out the excess mucus so that you get a better bowel.
If I'm a Vata type, can I have more fiber is the question.
No. If you're a Kapha person, if you're sluggish, stout, happy-go-lucky person, then I would say have more fibrous vegetables. Okay?
What about the hidden villains when it comes to our daily lifestyle?
Okay. The first and foremost, thinking that you can wake up any time of the day. You wake up anytime after 6 a.m. or after sunrise. You're actually creating more sluggishness inside your system, leading to weight gain. So if you're looking for weight loss, the first and foremost thing that you need to do is wake up before sunrise.
No wonder I was wondering why am I from 42 kgs I became 58 kgs because we started doing these podcasts and my editors used to send us the file late in the night at 2 o'clock and my routine in between had gotten completely haywire and I'm eating 1 meal a day and 2 meals a day and why am I putting on so much weight? It's
Yes.
waking
That
up late.
itself leads to weight gain.
But what if I'm Vata and I want the weight gain? There are people who want to gain weight. Then I can wake up late.
If it is the unhealthy kind of thing, by sleeping late, you're creating imbalance in your system. And if you see, you'll also be waking up tired.
Yeah.
You won't be waking up fresh.
Yeah.
Right? So if you want to lose weight, you want to wake up fresh, feel fresh, then wake up before the sun rise.
Okay.
During the Brahma Muhurta,
Okay.
which is by anywhere between 4:30 to 6.
Okay. By the way, the weight gain is also because of an imbalanced gut, right?
Yes. Now, weight gain can happen because of eating too much of creamy, greasy, cheesy, heavy kind of food. Your pastries, cakes, hummus, mayonnaise, a lot of meat, a lot of dairy, a lot of gluten, disproportionate to your body's requirement. In fact, that is what Ayurveda calls ahimsa. If you see in Ayurveda, it is mentioned that you can consume meat. In fact, there is reference a lot of different kinds of meat in Ayurveda. And that is, yes, in fact, goat meat is recommended for Rajakshma, for a condition where there is emaciation of the body. In fact, I have had a lot of patients who feel better once they reintroduce meat. There was this patient of mine who was a foreigner. For 10 years, she was into spirituality under a guru from India. She was basically from Germany, I guess. When she came to me, she was highly in the state of Vata. She's like, I'm consuming khichdis, I am fasting, I'm doing my sadhana. But you know what? I feel extremely miserable. And the moment I checked her tongue, I got to see that it was highly Vata Pitta kind. It was dry, cracked and reddish. Then I knew that there was a certain kind of imbalance and there was a lot of body heat. So we tried to understand, what is causing it. So the first thing I asked her was are you happy with your food? She's like, I'm eating healthy. I was like, that was not my question. Are you content with your food? She's like, I have been advised to eat it and I have been eating. So it's the first thing Ayurveda says when it comes to balanced meal is it has to be ruchya. It has to feel good. It has to be tasty. Second one, it has to be satmya. It has to be staple, which is why I keep telling my people that rice is good if you're used to it. Wheat is good if you're used to it and your body needs it. Okay? So here, she has been introduced to vegetarian food and she was not really feeling happy about it. And the worst part, she was not even happy about her sadhana because she was having difference in opinion with her guru, her mentor. Now what does that lead to? That leads to a situation called prajnaparada. You are going against your prajna. You are actually taking your body into a state of confusion wherein you are doing something against your conscience. It is a state of confusion. Okay? So we try to fix the status of prajnaparada. So in the second sitting when she came back, she said, I have dissociated with my mentor and I am now doing the sadhana by myself. Okay? I have started eating food that I am more used to. I've made it vegetarian. I've retained it vegetarian, but I'm consuming the foods that I'm used to, not just khichdi. Okay? So that is why it is very important to eat simple, cooked साथ में भोजन. It is not just about being vegan or vegetarian. It is about eating the kind of food that you are used to. Now, this is for those people who are leading a regular, mundane, social life. If you're living up in the Himalayas or you're doing a sadhana, there is better awareness. Then you're more anchored. That's a different story. This is for those people who are leading a regular social life. The second villain is taking shower. We tend to believe that taking shower after food is okay. But in fact, that is also leading to the formation of inflammation. If you see, after your morning abhyanga followed by exercise, and then when you take a shower, the agni actually increases, the appetite increases, and your body is prepared. This is because when you're taking shower, the capillaries at the extremities of your body actually shrinks, and then the blood starts focusing on the central part of your body, improving your agni, just like what happens during the winters, right? Then your body is prepared, it is feeling hungry for the meal. But immediately after a meal, okay, if you have not taken shower and you have decided to take a shower after your meal, what happens is when the blood should be focusing on the stomach, in the omentum, you are actually taking shower. This gets dissipated.
Correct.
Right? Then the agni stops functioning at the central part of your body. This leads to delayed digestion, indigestion. When you keep doing it continuously, that itself leads to the formation of inflammation. So this is a second villain. Understand your body type and then take shower. In fact, the very same cold plunge that people are doing nowadays can actually land up in more trouble, like stroke, DVT. Okay, these kind of conditions, when you have inflammation in your body type, you are actually putting your body in a state of shock, thinking that you're actually helping your body. No, it actually makes you prone to these kind of blood-related disorders.
How do I know if I have inflammation?
Okay, if you're waking up in the morning with stiff joints, you have a lot of body heat, acne, abscess, indigestion, delayed digestion, feeling sluggish post-meal, or you're generally feeling tight and heavy. These are the symptoms or the lakshanas of ama.
Acha.
And you're also feeling brain fog and things like that. If you have this, kindly do not do it. Get rid of your ama and then you can do your cold plunge if you're a Pitta kind.
Your tongue basically shows a lot of signs when it comes to digestion and your gut. Can you take us through that?
If you have a coated tongue, people tend to believe that it is just ama or the kapha imbalance or indigestion. Well, no, there are two sides to it. If you have a tongue that is fully white coated and slightly slimy, that is actually toxin. That is delayed digestion. Okay, now that can also give you bad breath. Now the second condition is you have slightly dry and white coated tongue. That is because of the anxiety, insomnia, delayed sleep and constipation. So that is a Vata kind. So the first one is a Kapha kind, second is a Vata kind. Then you have the reddish, pinkish kind of tongue and then slight coating. That is because of the Pitta kind. Okay, they are generally very anxious, angry. Usually if you see, many perimenopausal women have that because your body is going through that kind of agitation and heat. And then if it is absolutely strawberry colored, that is because of vitamin B12 deficiency.
Oh.
And yes.
I thought it was a good thing.
No. You need to have a squeaky, clean tongue like that of a kitten, not reddish, heated, and the blazing heat kind of a thing.
Okay, like a kitten, is it?
Yeah, kitten.
Nice.
Kitten. That's the right reference for it.
It's like saying the consistency of the poop. Ideal poop should be like a banana.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So now these are the different indicators of the tongue. Then you have this geographic tongue. This is usually found in people who have a heated liver and when there is inflammation. They're also found genetically, like, if your mom has it, you may also be prone to it. But if you see, interestingly, they both will be having Pitta imbalance also.
Okay.
So that is a geographic kind of tongue. Then there is the scalloped tongue, wherein you have the teeth mark. That is again because of Vata imbalance.
And if I have tongue which there are ulcers in the tongue or it pains, on the side especially.
Okay, if you have mouth ulcers, it is because of Vata Pitta imbalance, which in fact gets reduced the moment you start having butter, ghee or milk.
Okay.
It will immediately reduce. And if you don't want to have any of these, the vitamin B complex also helps you. But this is a natural remedy for it.
Okay.
Then there are also cracks on the tongue, again, which is a Vata imbalance, which is very commonly found in the Western population. And if you see, many of them will be also doing a lot of intermittent fasting, salad diet. And they'll be also prone to constipation. So the moment we start introducing more fats, the cracks on their tongue, the depth of cracks on their tongue also starts getting reduced.
Okay.
So this is how we can say that your tongue is a mirror of your gut and emotions.
Okay, beautiful.
Yeah. The third villain would be consuming gallons of water throughout the day. We tend to believe that you should be having a lot of water.
Yeah, it's good for the skin, it's good for the gut health, it won't get you constipated, it'll remove acidity.
That's only if your body is dry, right? If you're consuming a lot of water, what you're actually doing is you're dampening your appetite, Agni again. You're actually slowing down the rate of digestion, unless and until you're infusing it with the right kind of herb. Say for a Pitta person, if you're adding fennel seeds, it will keep reducing your body heat, or crushed coriander seeds. Then in that case, it is going to help. Again, then, as per your thirst, like as I said earlier, your body speaks. Listen. Your body will ask for the water, then only drink that.
So there's no definitive quantum of water that one must consume through the day, right?
If you observe,
Yeah.
in summers we'll be drinking more water.
Yeah.
In winters, do you feel like?
No. Some people also say, "Arey, humko to प्यास ही नहीं लगती." We don't feel thirsty. I remember when I was a child and my mom used to say, "Arey, yaar, you don't even have one glass of water." So what about, those individuals?
Okay, that is because
Yeah.
you have sluggish metabolism.
Okay.
Go exercise, sweat it out, drink more water. So you can drink water provided you are thirsty. And how do you generate that thirst? By removing out whatever is actually there in your body already through peeing, through the sweat. So work out more, drink more, no harm. The fourth and the most common villain nowadays is a kind of commode we Indians are using. There was a time when we were using the Indian kind of commode or the Asian kind of one, wherein we were sitting actually automatically in the malasan and doing the bowel evacuation. The advantage of this pose was there was good pressure from the thigh muscles being applied onto the abdominal part. So then the pressure is automatically built. And the second part is that the recto-anal angle, there is this angle,
Yeah,
into which
but a
the
30 degree or so,
yes,
right?
Yes.
Yeah.
What happens is when you are sitting in a regular commode, it is at 90 degree.
Yeah.
Now, because of this 90 degree, what happens is you have to apply more pressure. Every time you're applying more pressure, you're actually making yourself more prone to piles. Which is why Ayurveda clearly says that do not go and sit on the commode in the lack of bowel urge, which again falls under one of the 14 urges of the body. Let the bowel urge happen, and then you go and sit on the commode. It gets passed out very easily. What you should be doing is you should get the bowel urge
Okay.
and then go and sit on the commode. In the absence of the urge, you are actually creating more Apana Vata imbalance, making yourself more prone to piles.
And that is why people are spending hours scrolling sheets.
Exactly. So what you should be doing is like prepare your body, apply some Nabi Puran the previous night, have warm water, prepare your body, and you'll automatically get the urge. This is only in case of Vata people, okay? The Pitta people will get the bowel urge the moment they wake up.
Yeah.
The Kapha people with just 1 cup of water. The Vata people are the one who needs a lot of tapasya to get it out. So this is the reason why it is very important to maintain the right kind of angle. So if you do not have a Asian commode in your house, does that mean that it's bad? No. What you can do instead is you will get these commode stools nowadays.
Yeah.
And that will help in correcting the angle. So that will also prevent you. What happens is there's kink formation. Kink formation as in there is this loop kind of a formation at the part of your rectum which makes you want to push out the bowel when you're sitting in the regular Western commode. So when you use this kind of stool, the angle gets corrected and the passage of bowel gets easier. Now a Kapha person is not going to feel easily hungry. He's going to wait till 10, 11, 12. And it is for such people we say have only 2 meals per day. Okay, a brunch and a supper. You don't need breakfast, lunch, dinner. And for a Vata person, please listen to your body. There are times when it is going to feel hungry at 8. Then there are times when you're going to feel hungry only at 11. So listen to your gut and eat. So I would say these numbers don't fit into your body. Okay, because during winters, you're going to feel hungry the moment you wake up. During summers, you're not going to feel hungry till noon. That is because the climate that you're living in also determines the status of your Agni. Okay? So which is why you get to see...
summer months, I would feel maybe less hungry?
Yes.
Okay, and why would that be?
That is because the body is so heated up externally that the internal Jataragni gets diminished. But in winter months, what happens is like, you're constantly trying to fight the cold outside.
Yes.
So the body tries to maintain a good
Correct.
temperature within, and that gives you the Jataragni.
The North Indian and Delhi walas are feasting on their butter chickens and wondering why am I gaining weight and when am I going to get rid of this winter weight?
Very true, very true. And that is where actually you need to start your meal with that 1 teaspoon of ghee. In fact, if you're a typical Vata person or a Vata Kapha person who does not have much of Pitta issues, like too much of body heat or abscess, acne, anger issues, I would say start your day with a teaspoon of sesame oil and warm water. That will take care of your erratic appetite.
How much sesame oil?
5 ml, 1 teaspoon.
Okay.
In fact, that is also where you can go for your butter coffee. Bulletproof butter coffee. So for that kind of body type, it helps, not otherwise. In fact, there was a series that I had done for coffee for your body type. We always have it. Yeah, I did that. Coffee for your body type, chai for your body type. Yeah,
interesting.
Yeah. So because if chai were so bad, if coffee were so bad, people across the globe should have been killed by now, right? They're still surviving. Okay, in fact, many of them are actually getting better because of that. They're able to function better because of that.
Because of tea and coffee?
Tea and coffee. Whereas there are others who are struggling from the same. Which means there is something amiss with our understanding, right? So that is what made me think about why chai, why coffee, why are people naturally inclined towards the same? Okay, we know there is caffeine content. We know that it is actually making you get addicted to it, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Keeping aside the
And
caffeine,
your mind becomes very rajasic in nature, very
Rajasic in
irritable,
nature, yes.
frustrated.
Don't you think that kapha people need that?
Yeah.
They're even otherwise very sluggish. No?
Right.
They need that kick, right? Either you need that kick from pepper and turmeric, or you need that kick from the heating coffee, or the bitter tea, right? Ultimately, coffee is heating, right? So it is quite bad for the Pitta people. It'll give them immediate acidity, and for the Vata people, it'll give them anxiety and insomnia. Whereas the Kapha people are gonna love it.
So my question here is, when we have the natural means, like you said, the black pepper, the sukku coffee, there are so many other herbal ways to get the benefits, to get yourself energized without the negative effects of caffeine, because caffeine holds you up for some time and then it drops you down bad, right? So why can't we do that instead?
I would say it is because of lack of awareness. Now, coffee is easily available in the West, and whatever is easily available is what you will work with, right? Now, these condiments were easily available in India, so we Indians worked with that. So it's a matter of availability. Now, pepper, it's not that pepper does not have any negative effects. In fact, during COVID period, some of the common complications that we were getting exposed to were the complications from overuse of condiments and spices. Because everybody was after these herbal remedies. Like you were having golden tea, then golden latte, chukka kapi, herbal remedies, a lot of these kind of spices infused kind of remedies, which was actually giving them acidity. So you need to know what works where. Say, for example, the one which you said, chukka kapi. Chukka kapi is made out of dry ginger, coriander, crushed coriander, tulsi leaves, jaggery, and some pepper, right? If you see the property, it is highly kapha balancing. It removes the excess kapha. Now, if a Vata person has it, what happens? He will go into immediate constipation, immediate acidity. So anything and everything under the sun is good or bad based on your body type.
Understood. So the reason I mentioned the alternative, method, the alternative teas and coffees was when you said ki, tea and coffee have also been helpful to some people. While I understand that, but I'm of the opinion that maybe if they went through the herbal route or the alternative route, like the sukku coffee and various other, there is ginger, coriander tea. So if they chose this alternative method of energizing themselves versus having the caffeine method, isn't that a better option?
Any day, that is a better option.
Okay.
But the problem is
availability.
One is availability.
Yeah.
Two is practically how many people are willing to change their regular way of living. Just the other day, a patient of mine, a chartered accountant who understands everything, her hyperhidrosis, which is like, sweating always. Her hands are wet, feet are wet, to such a point that she has to use a hanky all the time. She is now better. But she wants to go back to coffee because she's badly into it. We try to stay away from it for 6 months. Okay. Now she's like, can I start please introducing at least 50 ml of the coffee? So here comes the real deal. In real life, how many people are willing to do that?
Yeah.
Okay. So if you have the willpower, again, go ahead, please, you can do it. If you don't have the willpower, understand how you can consume it for your body type.
Okay.
She was a Pitta kind. Okay. Now, how do we reduce the heat of the coffee? By either adding the butter or by adding a cooling milk, and nothing like cow's milk. Okay, so that is where the cow's milk comes in. Now, if you see almond milk, soya milk, they are heating in nature, so you can't add it. Again, coming to the millet milk or the plant-based milk that we get to see, it only looks like milk. It has got nothing to do with the properties of the milk. Basically, everything has something called property. It's called Vimshati Guna, 20 gunas as per Ayurveda, if you understand. So, goat milk is neither cooling or heating. Cow's milk is cooling. So for her Pitta body type, I had to cool the heating coffee. And that is why we added either butter or the milk. So this way you can actually practically tweak it down. So if you ask me, any day herbal route is the best. If you have a great willpower. Now, if you don't have one, that is when these kind of adjustments set in. Okay, tweaking sets in.
You talked about the bulletproof coffee.
Yes.
There was a lot of Initially, it became a fad. Then it was mired in some controversy. Where are we now with the bulletproof coffee? The thing with these fads is you don't know, is it working? आज के ज़माने में काम कर रहा है या नहीं कर रहा है?
So again, now bulletproof coffee. Now this coffee helps in weight loss. It helps in removing the ama, Ayurvedically speaking. Because the ama or toxin, if you see, it's a slimy, sticky material that is like getting stuck at different parts of the body. What is ama? It is the inflammatory byproduct that is being formed from the food because it is not getting properly digested. Now, if I want to get rid of it, metabolize it, what do? I introduce something that is slightly heating, warm in nature. It can be either the chukka kapi or the dry ginger infused water in the morning. Or if you're very particular about having your coffee, go ahead, have that in moderation. Now, if a Vata person, a person who is very anxious, erratic appetite, dry skin, dry body, somebody who has fibroids, fibroadenoma, which is like the lump in the breast, then in that case, you are actually going to need some kind of fat in the morning to get started with your day. So the safest one, if you ask me, I will say go ahead with sesame oil with warm water.
Okay.
Now, it does not taste that great.
Yeah.
Okay. Then we go for something that you're familiar with, which is the buttered coffee or the bulletproof coffee. Now, this butter, when it is consumed with the warm, heating coffee, it does not accumulate in your system. So, that fat gets utilized by your uterus, by the lump in your breast, or the dryness on your skin gets resolved. The 30% population actually benefits out of the same. So, which is why nowadays you don't get everybody talking about it, but a certain segment is continuing with it because they are benefiting out of it. Okay. So, if you ask me, yes, it works for the 30% population.
Which is a Vata type?
Yes.
Okay.
It is a Vata type.
Okay. How do you make the bullet coffee exactly?
It's basically very simple. Take a mug of coffee, black coffee, say 200 ml, and 1 teaspoon of butter. That's it. Butter, or ideally,
Ghee?
if you ask me, I would say go for ghee. Butter, when melted, is ghee. Okay. Now, butter is actually used when you need more tarpana, more nourishment for the Vata kind. And when you add ghee, it is actually more deepana, which helps in improving your gut health.
Okay.
Okay. Or rather the Agni.
So, in which cases is tea and coffee not good for any individual?
Now, if you have acidity, acidic belching, or you have a globus kind of sensation on the throat, please avoid tea, coffee. In fact, when I say that, there's a case that comes to my mind. Okay, once this patient was actually brought to my OP, he was actually being taken on the shoulders of 2 bystanders because he couldn't walk on his legs, and he was actually bent at his low back. Reason being, he has been struggling with low backache for the past 2 days, not able to sit, stand, or even lie on bed without pain. And when I inquired about his history, I got to know that he used to consume, say, 20 to 22 cups of black tea daily because during the work hours, he couldn't eat food. Now, what is the property of black tea or black coffee? It is bitter tasting.
Yeah.
And it is drying.
Yeah.
And these 2 properties are not the best for which body type? The Vata kind. It dries your body, right? So what happened is that his IV disc, which is intervertebral disc, got dried up, leading to high Vata. So immediately what we did was, one, we did Abhyanga, external application of oil, then application of heat, and internally I actually gave him castor oil with milk. That helped in easing the stiffness of his back.
Okay.
So tea, coffee is best to be avoided, especially the black kind. Black tea, black coffee is best to be avoided by the Vata people or the Pitta people. In other words, those who are prone to anxiety, anger, rage, bloating, acidity, constipation, kindly avoid. If at all you want to have, please have it the classical way, which is by adding milk.
Okay.
With few condiments for your body type.
Okay.
If you are a Kapha person, sluggish gut, add dry ginger powder. If you are a Vata person, add cumin. If you are a Pitta person, add fennel.
Okay.
So this is how you have chai for your body type.
Okay.
The other thing is, like, never start your day with tea, coffee, whatever variety it be it the black tea or the milk tea. The reason being, first thing in the morning, there is actually a slimy layer inside your gut, just like the mucus, you get it on your tongue, in your buccal cavity, then on your eyes, your nasal tract. There is a certain kind of sliminess. No, this is the ama or the kapha imbalance that settles in throughout the night. You need to get rid of it. It is not just on these orifices that you get to see, you also get to see it on your gut. So first thing in the morning, you need to get rid of the sliminess inside the gut, okay, with the help of warm water. Do not have tea, coffee at that point. The next thing is, do not have your tea, coffee with your breakfast, okay, especially with your parantha, upma, idli, dosa. No. Reason being, when there is milk being added to the tea, coffee, or the regular Horlicks milk that you're having, this milk has a tendency to curdle. And this combination, as per Ayurveda, is called Viruddhahar or incompatible food combination. You have these two, you feel mentally good for a split second. The next moment you will have acidity, burping, bloating, and then you will wonder why you're getting it. Okay, so this is the reason. Now comes the evening dose of tea, coffee, or beverage. Okay, people tend to believe that 4 o'clock, if I need that kick in energy, I should be having tea, coffee.
Yeah.
In fact, many people start feeling bloated, sluggish, bloated, acidic, and their appetite gets killed for the dinner because of this evening dose of tea, coffee. If you want to have it because you are hungry, because there is milk. Otherwise, don't have. The next mistake that you do, having it with your pakoda, samosa, vada.
Ooh.
Okay, you pair it with the salt containing, oil containing evening snack. Again, you're leading to inflammation.
So chai and biscuit is a bad combination.
Biscuit is not a bad combination if there is no salt in it. But if you ask me, dehydrated bisque, rusk, khakra, why do you want to have? Because it will create Vata imbalance.
Because it tastes good.
You know, everything that tastes good
Yeah.
will have a problem associated with it, especially if it's coming in a packet. Again, if you ask me, is it going to kill you? No, but it'll
Yeah.
give you enough trouble.
And it can silently damage you if you're doing it for a prolonged period
Exactly.
of time, right?
You have it once or twice
Yeah.
because you're absolutely hungry, you're starving,
Yeah.
you're ravishingly hungry. Then
Or
that
if
chai,
it rains and you want
rain
to
is
eat
not
the
a
chai
good reason
pakoda.
rain is not a good reason to have the chai pakoda. I would say if it is raining, go for some kind of snack which does not contain salt in it. You have your modak. Modak,
Hey,
that is
Ganesh Chaturthi today.
Yes. Oh, perfect. Yeah. So you have it with your modak, then it is fairly okay, but not with the ones that contain salt.
So chai, biscuit, I should not be having regularly. Chai, khakra, any of these dry foods, right? Packaged foods, I should not be having. Chai, namak para, all these should not be had,
All
right?
the savory, salt-containing,
Okay.
spice-containing, sour snacks. No.
Chai namkeen though is a complete no-no.
Complete no.
Okay. And 90% of the people start their day with chai and biscuit.
Yes. And most of them will have bloating, acidity, or constipation. Mark my words.
If not now, then maybe later.
Yes. If you have started now, if you have just started having the biscuit and chai now, 5 years down the lane, you are actually a good candidate for acidity.
But there could be a lot of viewers watching this and saying, "Arey, main to meri nani na 90 saalo, she's 90 years old, she's been having chai biscuit every day since 90 years." People come up with such comments. What would you have to say to those who say, "But my nani is doing perfectly fine, she has no health issues"?
Your nani was actually working in the farm, never sitting at home
Okay.
and binge watching. But we are all binge watching. How many of us are physically active?
Yeah.
We have got so much of sedentary lifestyle in today's world that everything accumulates. But your nani was having the chai biscuit and roaming around, walking around, doing so much of physical activity. She was physically utilizing whatever energy that she could gain out of this little food.
And even our parents, for that matter, they were much more active than we are. So basically, we are the ones who are going to see for ourselves as to how negatively this habit can impact us.
In fact, I would say when our parents are actually struggling. From their 35, 40 onwards, they have become central obesity is there, diabetes is there, raised BP,
Arthritis?
raised cholesterol, early arthritis, joint pain. All of these are nothing but ama or inflammation.
Which
Because-
is because of all these little tidbits that we do on a daily basis,
Yes,
right? Like
yes.
chai biscuit being one of them.
Chai
Okay.
biscuit. Another one,
Yeah.
salad with your food.
Okay.
Okay, we tend to fill up our plate with a lot of raw salad thinking
Yeah.
that I'm eating very healthy. Okay, you may initially lose weight for the first 2-3 months, like I said earlier. But after that, you start observing bloating, acidity, not feeling great, or there is that post-meal lethargy that sets in only eventually, because initially your body will be able to break it down. After some time, because one is cooked and the other one is uncooked, which is like Agni Dagda and Anagni Dagda, which means one that has been subjected to heat, it is easier to be digested. And the other one is not subjected to heat outside. Therefore, the time taken for digestion is different. Okay. Now, when there are these two sets of food, the body is confused. Now, which one do I focus on? Do I focus on something that is taking more time or less time? And finally, the one that takes more time to get digested will remain there, will get fermented, giving you that bloating and acidity.
Understood.
So that again leads to bloating. So in that case, never have your salads with your cooked meal. If at all you want to have it separate. Have just raw salad with some amount of fat, some amount of salt, sour, which could be your lemon, salt, then some kind of sauce which is made out of garlic, salt, etc. That is the best way to have your raw salad. In fact, your cucumber, the carrot that you're having with your regular meal so as to fill up your plate with 50% of the meal portion with the fibrous vegetables, never do that. Have it separate. Have it as a midday snack, that too because you're hungry. not because your nutritionist has asked you to have it in between so that you have had your fair share of fiber for the day. Everything is based on Agni or the hunger. You feel hungry, you have it. If you don't feel hungry, skip it. Now, some people ask me, how about having fruits as dessert after meal?
Yeah, very common.
Very common. In
Yeah.
fact, that's one reason why I keep fighting with my dad. They're so used to having banana after their meal. In fact, that was their dessert growing up. Back then they didn't have these cakes, pastries, biscuits and things like that, right? Not even chocolates, which was like once in a year affair. Now, if you see, most of these people who are having fruits with their meal or after their meal as the sweetener, natural sweetener, they will have acidity. They will have an eroded tongue. The tongue will be more like geographic or will be eroded. That is mainly because this fruit gets fermented. In fact, there was this statement by a latest nutritionist saying that you should be having at least 30% of your meal portion fruits. And many of my followers actually shared it to me saying that, doctor, what is your take over it?
Yeah.
Scientifically, technically, it may seem like as though it is taking care of the insulin spike and then giving you the right kind of carb, right kind of fiber, etc. But Ayurvedically understood, you have actually consumed Viridahar. And Viridahar always gives you complication in the long run if you don't have a great appetite. It's called Utklesha. And this is the main reason why people keep getting puffiness on their face, joint pain, skin issues. In fact, the first thing that we ask people with skin issues to stop, like in case of eczema, psoriasis, acne, abscess, seborrheic dermatitis, and even dandruff, is not to have your fruits or raw veggies with your meal. First thing to be avoided. It starts in your gut, plays with your mind, and then plays with your skin. So never have your fruits with your meal. Fruits are your midday snacks, especially in summers. Now, if it's extremely hot summer, I would say just 2 main meals and midday fruits are the best. Because if you see, when you talk to the patients who are in the West, they do not feel like having a savory meal, a proper lunch with rice dal sabzi, roti dal sabzi during the midday. They just feel like having a refreshing salad or fruits. The reason is very simple. You do not have the appetite or you don't have an inclination towards having something that is spicy, sour, salty. You're looking for refreshing, cooling, soothing kind of fruits. So fruits have its place in summers.
Okay.
In winters, how many fruits do you see? Even the nature knows it. You get to see the majority amount of fruits during the summers. And whatever fruits that you see in the winters, especially the berries, they actually are for igniting the appetite. Whatever you are actually, whatever you're extinguishing with the heavy food during the winters. So you need to see what the nature has got to offer you and then eat accordingly. So I keep telling my patients that fruits are for the summers, soups are for the winters. And the natural inclination is there, no?
So one shouldn't eat fruits at all in the winters?
If you're a Pitta person,
Yeah.
you'll feel like. And if you're a Vata person, you'll run away from it. If you see, there's a majority of the people who do not feel like having fruits.
Yeah.
Like, some people say, I hate fruits, doctor. I don't feel like having.
Yeah.
I'm like, you don't have to eat something that you don't like. That's clearly your body rejecting something because the coolness, the chillness from fruits is not something the Vata person is looking for. They're already struggling with the chillness inside, no? Who needs that soothing, cooling feeling? The heated Pitta. Let them have it. If you ask me, I would say even fruits can be consumed as per your body type. Okay? Yes. You are struggling with obesity, you have weight gain, sluggish metabolism, don't feel like eating much, all the citrus fruits are for you. Orange, lemon, tangerine, pineapple, then berries are for you.
They make you alert suddenly.
Yes. They actually clears your mouth. In fact, in Ayurveda, it says that these fruits helps in clearing your buccal cavity and your mind. And they also kick in the appetite. So that is for the Kapha people who have sluggish metabolism. Now for the Pitta people, you need something solid because they're always hungry, right? So then happens the muskmelon. It stays there. You can also have banana because it is grounding and nourishing. Now comes the Vata people. They generally don't feel like having fruits. So what we say is stew and consume. Add some condiments, make it a little warm, and then have your apple, pear, pineapple, banana, and your berries. That's the best way to have for the Vata people. So if you consume this way, your share of fruits are taken and it is also suiting for your body type. In fact, those for the Vata people, I say that this becomes a great option for your breakfast when you pair it with some kind of porridge, which is the commonest porridge that we get to see, oats. So go for the steel cut oats porridge.
What kind of
The
oats?
steel cut oats, because that is actually...
What is steel cut?
Steel cut. There are different kinds of oats. Like there is the instant oats, then there's a steel cut oats. So steel cut oats has got more fiber in it. It takes more time to... It is more a wholesome meal when in comparison to instant noodles kind of a thing.
Okay.
It's very instantaneously cooked. It's more mucoid. So when it comes to steel cut oats, it's more like a whole grain. It's just beaten and flattened and made into steel cuts. Okay. So that kind of oats is okay for you. Now, if you ask me, a Vata person, okay, who has a sweet tooth in the morning, likes having sweet food, then you can go for steel cut oats. Or you can go for your dhalia and then add these stewed fruits. That becomes a great meal for you, except for adding cow's milk. Add some plant-based milk. You can go for almond milk, oat milk. In some it leads to bloating, but otherwise almond milk is a fairly good option. Even coconut milk is. If you like the flavor of it, it is good.
Okay. Since we're talking about the commode and the poop has to say a lot about your imbalances, right? Your gut health imbalances. So can you take us through the kind of... I know it's a wrong time given that you're having your milk, but I'm sorry about that. If this is the right time, I would like for people to understand what are the kind of signals that one can get from the consistency of their stool and the color of their stool.
Basically, there are two kinds of, broadly classified, there are two kinds of bowel. The one with inflammation, the one without inflammation. What is the right kind of poop? That which is banana shaped, that which is floating on the water. If it is sinking, it shows that there is inflammation or ama. So every time your poop is sinking, that is a bad signal.
Oh.
Rewind. In fact, instead of scrolling, try to think over why my poop is sinking so that you can actually rectify. The answer will be there in the previous day's meal. Okay, if your dinner has gone wrong, if you have consumed food without hunger, if you have had a heavy meal, that is when the poop will be sinking, a meal with a lot of fat, or if you have had a lot of gluten-containing meal, then in that case, it will most probably sink. And if you have had a light meal proportionate to your appetite with the right amount of fiber, spices, condiments, then in that case you will get a poop that floats. Now let's understand the different kinds of bowel based on your body type. If you're a kapha person, you will get a nice sausage shaped or a banana shaped poop. If you're a pitta person, chances are that it will be more watery. Okay,
but because of a lot of heat in the system.
Yeah, they have mridu koshta. In fact, it's like, their intestine is very mridu, which is very soft, very mucoid. So they'll easily get
How
bubbles.
nice.
Yes,
Yeah.
I know, their life is so easy.
Yeah.
Something that the Vata people always struggle with. So for them, it is easy breezy and it will be slightly watery. Does not mean that you can always keep getting bowels after meal 4 to 5 times a day. That is not normal. 2 to 3 times slightly watery is okay for a pitta person. Never aim for a sausage kind of poop, because then you're actually going to create more imbalance in your system. Because by birth, you are that kind.
Yeah.
And for the Vata people, like as I've already mentioned, it is a dry, hard pellet-like stool. Now that becomes a bit more easier, much more well-formed when you have that ghee or milk at bedtime, or when you start your meal with that 1 teaspoon of ghee. The color ideally should be slightly brownish, yellowish colored. Okay, it should not be greenish, it should not be blackish unless and until you are consuming iron-rich food or iron supplements directly. If you have the blackish kind color poop, then that is because of the iron supplement. If you're having...
Or if you're having beetroot, a lot of beetroot or dragon fruit, the pink ones.
Yes.
Yeah?
If you're having the one with beta-cyanins, the fruits and vegetables with beta-cyanins, then in that case there can be a difference in color, and that is not because you have a gut issue. That is because this beta-cyanin does not get broken down in the body and it gets passed out. So beetroot, red spinach, red dragon fruit, all of this will give you colored poop. But that does not mean that you can have undigested particles in your poop. There cannot be undigested particles of beetroot, carrot, cabbage in your poop. It has to be properly broken down.
Or seeds.
Yes, and seeds. If these are not getting broken down, it shows that the body is unable to assimilate and get the nutrients from it. So if you're not eating when the Agni is right, it gets pushed out as it is.
Okay.
Yes. Also, the poop should be of the previous day. You're having beetroot today and passing out a bowel that is pink colored after 2 or 3 days. That also shows that it's staying inside your system. That which also releases toxins. So whatever you have consumed the previous day should be out the next day.
And if something I consume the same day is out on the same day?
For a Pitta person, it happens. You
Yeah.
consume something in the morning, by night it will be out
Yeah,
of their
yeah, yeah,
system.
yeah.
That is normal for them. They have a great metabolism, which is why they tend to keep eating very frequently, and their appetite is also very strong.
Okay.
So they can metabolize it very
Okay.
quickly. One alarming sign is having mucus in your poop. The moment you see that there is mucus, try to understand if it is because of
That
the piles,
slimy white.
the slimy white secretion. In fact, we recently had a patient who had a lot of complaints, like she had psoriasis, SLE, rheumatoid arthritis, then her gallbladder was removed. Okay, after all this, she was getting greenish colored poop, and that too very frequently. After the Panchakarma treatment, it actually got better. This shows there was Pitta imbalance in her body. So the greenish color poop that you're getting is not normal. Mucus in your poop is not normal. That shows kapha imbalance. And if you're getting the beta sign in the reddish pigments, the purple pigment, that is normal because it is because of the food type that you're consuming.
Okay. Let's talk about those individuals who say, we watched your podcast, we've done all the, dinacharya routines that you told us, we followed all the food advice, but our gut health is still not getting sorted. So please, in which case, give us some gharelu nuskas or some herbal remedies which could give them a far effective relief.
So coming to the Vata people, if nothing has been helping you, then I would say start your meal with half cup of cumin infused water. In case even that is not helping you with your bloating, then you just need to have this one pill called Dhanvantram Gulika. Okay, just have one pill, 101, which is one before your breakfast, one before your dinner, and that will take care majority of your Vata imbalance. Now, this is not to be consumed lifelong, at the most for a month. After that, go meet your nearby Ayurvedic physician and they will help you with the rest of the remedies. So to begin with, Dhanvantram Gulika and cumin seed is amazing for you people. And also ensure that you start your lunch with a teaspoon of ghee and salt. That will actually take care of 90% of your Vata issues. Now coming to the Pitta people.
What about constipation? Because Vata people will have constipation.
Yeah.
So
And for constipation, you just need a cup of milk at bedtime. If you suspect there is inflammation, joint stiffness, then you can go for 1 teaspoon of castor oil with the milk. Now, if you do not have inflammation, you don't have joint pain, and you're slightly hungry, then you can have cow's ghee with the milk. This will take care of your constipation. Coming to the Pitta people, the biggest problem that you guys struggle with is diarrhea, acidity, and pimples. So you just need to start your day with fennel seed water. Keep sipping the same throughout the day, or even crushed coriander seed water. If even that is not helping you, then you can go for CCFT, or which is like cumin, coriander, and fennel seed infused water. Or you can also go for guduchi to cool down your liver, which will take care of your skin issues, including your acne and abscess. And for the acidity, you can go for yesh tea. Just chew down a small piece of yesh tea after breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That will take care of your acidity.
medicines?
Guduchi, okay. And if even that has not been helping you, then you can go for a concoction called Guluchyadi Kashayam, okay, which is a kadha or a concoction made out of guduchi, triphala, and the like, which will help in removing the inflammation and the heat from your body. Do not consume this for more than 3 weeks at a stretch. Piles, hemorrhoids is a big thing for the Vata people, okay. Now for them, you can actually start introducing Vanasurana, which is the wild variety of yam in their meal. Ideally, cook yam in ghee and make it a part of your meal, which is why I said tubers are amazing for a Vata person. So if you have the pulse issues, either go for Vanasurana as a sabzi, or you can go for Vanasurana Lehya, which is a jam-like medicinal preparation for approximately a month at bedtime with the cow's milk. That will take care of it.
Pitta people are also prone to piles, right? Because they might have the loosies and the...
Now the Pitta people are actually prone to the bleeding kind of piles. And in them, nothing like arrowroot porridge for the same. 1 cup of arrowroot porridge with their breakfast will take care of their loosies and bleeding. And all the cooling remedies like crushed coriander seed water, yesh tea, all of these are amazing for reducing the bleeding and the heat.
And all these recipes, we will attach it in the description of this video so you can have a look at it.
And when it comes to kapha people, 3 main concerns. 1, sluggish metabolism, constipation, and weight gain. You just basically need 2 main remedies in your life. Just like everything else, life is easier for you, so you just need 2 remedies. 1, Trikatu. Trikatu, the combination will be attached in the caption. Okay, consume it as part of your buttermilk. Like, blend it in your buttermilk and then consume it. This will help in improving your sluggish metabolism. And for cleansing your gut and to aid you with weight loss, you can have 1 teaspoon of triphala at bedtime with warm water. Again, do not make it a regular habit. Consume it for a month, take a break, and consume it only if there is a need for the same, because otherwise that itself can lead to dryness of the gut.
Okay. Even triphala you shouldn't consume every day?
No. Triphala is not for regular consumption, because you need to know if your body is looking for that kind of cleansing.
Okay. What about
dryness.
isabgol?
Isabgol, same. Why do you need to keep on giving your body external agents to cleanse? It should be able to cleanse by itself, right?
Yeah.
That is why you have the adjustments with respect to the food. It is when you do not know how to have the right kind of food in the right proportion that you end up taking these kind of aids like isabgol, chia seeds, sabja seeds, then triphala. If your body is in a state of balance, you don't need an external aid for cleansing your body. Now, if at all you need to do cleansing, Ayurveda clearly says that do it during the Ritu Sandhi, the intersection of seasons. Say, for example, you're going from summer to monsoon, or monsoon to autumn, autumn to winter, then spring to summer. During these Ritu Sandhis, there is going to be accumulation in the body. At that time, you need to cleanse. And for cleansing, it's not that everybody can use castor oil. Castor oil is ideally suited for the Vata people. Triphala is suited for the Kapha people. And there's something called Trivrit or something like Avipatti Churan, which you should not be consuming more than 1 teaspoon for the Pitta people to cleanse their system. Now, this will ensure that you have a great metabolism, great bowel habit, no skin issues, good brain alertness, clearer skin, if you keep doing it during every Ritu Sandhis. Okay, which is the seasonal intersection.
Let's come to the dinacharya or the lifestyle, Ayurvedic lifestyle. What are some of the dinacharya or Ayurvedic routines that a Vata, Pitta and a Kapha can practice very quickly?
Okay, for a Vata person, you need to do Abhyanga. Start your day after the morning cleansing activities. Do Abhyanga with sesame oil.
Self-massage.
Yeah, self-massage. Followed by yoga, a very grounding yoga, followed by meditation and some self-reflection to calm down your overactive mind. Throughout the day, ensure that you are not walking a lot, because otherwise you tend to keep on walking and moving a lot. Okay? Learn to ground yourself. Walk only after each of the 3 meals. That will help in keeping your Vata under check. In the evenings, never work out. Go for a leisure walk.
In the evenings, never work out.
Yes.
Yeah.
In the evenings, never work out, because that itself will lead to hair fall, dry skin, and even insomnia. And in some, that itself leads to constipation. For a Pitta person, after your morning cleansing activities, you can do Abhyanga. Okay? But when you do Abhyanga, either go for coconut oil or the oil that has been infused with cooling herbs. Sesame oil, mustard oil should not be used for you guys inside out, not even for cooking, unless and until it is extreme winters. Okay? And throughout the day, ensure that you walk after each meal, and every 3 hours, say 6 a.m., 9 a.m., 12 p.m., 3 p.m., 6 p.m., 9 p.m., move your body, at least the pelvic part of your body, because otherwise that itself can lead to central obesity by your mid-30s.
I have a question here. What about gymming in the evening? Because that's a very common one for working professionals especially. Can a Pitta person work out in the evening?
If you're a Kapha person, you can. Because even otherwise you're accumulating, right? Then you need to utilize it. In fact, Ayurveda says that you want to lose weight, then you can work out in the morning and evening.
Okay.
That is only until the Kapha in your body has reduced. Okay, you have not created more Vata imbalance. How do you understand where there is more of Vata imbalance? Your sleep starts breaking. There is calf muscle cramp, dryness of skin, dry hair, constipation, bloating. If any of these symptoms are there, avoid the evening workout. Okay, so if you are a Pitta person, you can go for swimming so as to calm down your body. You can also do yoga. Yoga is also great for a Pitta person. And with respect to a Kapha person, do workout. You first of all do not need Abhyanga. Abhyanga is required because your body is dry. Now, your body is not really dry. If you still want to oleate your system, go for castor oil.
Okay.
Or the highly heating and melting kind of mustard oil. That can be used, followed by intense workout. Now, gymming is for you guys. Gymming, cardio, strength training, running marathons are for you guys, not for the Vata or the Pitta kind. Because there, the rate of degeneration increases, which they are already doing with the help of their overthinking and passion-driven nature. Okay. So you can work out in the morning, do it quite intense once, say 1 hour in the morning and 1 hour in the evening before 6 p.m. can be done, and avoid having pre-workout snacks. You guys do not have the hunger for that. Please avoid it. If at all you're hungry, go for a handful of raisins.
Okay.
Nothing more than that, because otherwise that can itself lead to inflammation, joint pain, acidity and acidic burps. Which is why some people say that during the workout, I feel nauseous, I feel like vomiting, puking it out. This is because you have consumed the food, and the food, instead of getting digested, is actually not getting digested and leading to fermentation. Now, coming to the asana practice, for the kapha people, they're trying to break down fat or kapha or even ama. So, in that case, nothing like Kapalbhati, Bhastrika, Agnisar, followed by Surya Namaskar. 5 to 8 rounds minimum or up to 12 rounds of Surya Namaskar helps in breaking down the fat or the excess kapha. Coming to Pitta people, you can go for Chandra Namaskar, Sheetali Shitkari, and even Brahmari. That helps in calming down your brain, cooling down your system, and calming down your brain. And when it comes to Vata people, you need to ground yourself more. So, a lot of movements are not for you. I would say Bhujangasana, Dhanurasan, Baddha Konasana are amazing for you, followed by Anulom Vilom Pranayam.
Okay, so basically yogasanas. So I just have a caveat for all the viewers. Please never do the yoga practices yourself. Always do it under a trained teacher or a trained guru, right? If you do the yoga practices yourself through a book, through an online video, it could cause far more damage because these are all energy practices. Okay, a lot of my podcasts, we do rapid fires. But for you, we have another special segment which is called the Mythbusters, because there's so many myths around the gut. So I'll ask you first, or very, very quickly, help us bust some very common myths about the gut.
The most common one, drinking warm water is the best. No. Drinking warm water is only for the Vata and the Kapha people. Pitta people are going to need room temperature water, because otherwise that itself will give them the acne or even acidity.
The first mythbuster is drinking warm water. Is it good for me? The second is fasting is good. It's called Langana Param Aushadham, the ultimate medicine.
It's a fact if you have inflammation. It is a myth when you do not have inflammation. If your body has inflammation, then you are going to need fasting. And the right kind of fasting that Ayurveda recommends is appetite to appetite. You feel hungry, eat food. Till the next hunger doesn't set in, do not eat.
Salad only diet is great for health.
Myth, especially for a Vata and Pitta person. It is the best for a Kapha person, provided you add fats, salt, and some amount of sourness to it, which is in the form of lemon.
Eating millets are great.
Myth for a Vata and a Pitta person, amazing for a Kapha person, if you're looking for weight loss.
Protein-rich diet is very important.
Fact, provided you have a great gut. If you don't have a great gut, fix your gut and then consume the protein-rich diet.
How much protein do we need?
Okay, it is said that you need 1.8 grams of protein per kg body weight of yours. But unfortunately, body does not work on math. It works through the season, through the day in a different way. And the Agni keeps on changing. So if you have a great appetite, you can consume up to 30 to 40% of your meal portion. If not, reduce the quantity. Otherwise, it will lead to bloating, constipation, and acidity.
A healthy gut means no bloating and no gas.
Very true. In fact, the best way to know that if you have eaten right for your body type is the food goes in, you get clear energy, free of acidity, bloating, burping, flatulence, constipation, maybe a small burp at the end of a meal. That's it. And no post-meal lethargy or crash.
The global probiotic industry is already $1 billion industry, and it's touted to swell to $3 billion by 2034. So there's so much talk on probiotic, prebiotics. We again, just like the protein, एकदम टक्कर में है दोनों. There's a probiotic industry, there's a protein industry. Who's coming up with better supplements? Who's coming up with better products? So from an Ayurvedic point of view, tell me about this whole probiotic thing that's happening, and based on each body type, Vata, Pitta, Kapha, what are the kind of probiotics that each of these body types can consume naturally?
Okay, so let's start with the purpose of probiotics. Why do you need it? To ensure that you have the right kind of gut microbiome or flora. Ayurvedically speaking, it is about having the right amount of Agni. Basic, simple. You have a great Agni, you are sorted. So how do you do that as per your body type is a question that we need to address here. Not necessarily that you should be always having food with microbes to get the same. If you are a Vata person, you can go for idli, dosa, and dhokla. These contain the right kind of microbes that you need for your body, because they contain urad dal, which helps in calming down your Vata, because it is heavy in nature, it is grounding in nature. Now, if you're a Pitta person, you are actually going to need the sweet lassi, that which contains mishri, gulkand, dates, or even raisins. And if you are a Kapha person, that is when you're going to need the lighter, easily digestible, spiced, condiment-containing buttermilk. That is the best probiotic for you. So if you're a Kapha person, spiced chas or buttermilk is best, not the creamy, thick ones.
But probiotics work, right?
Yes, yes, you need it provided you know how to consume as per your body type. Otherwise, if a Pitta person consumes idli, dosa, dhokla, you'll end up with acidity. A Vata person consumes buttermilk, they'll end up with a sore throat. And a Kapha person consumes curd, which ideally should be consumed by the Vata people, they'll end up with tonsillitis, sinusitis, and post-meal lethargy.
Okay, perfect. You should have more fruits.
No, it's a myth. You need fruits only when your body is asking for in the right climate and at the right time of the day. It is summer season, it is midday time, you're a Pitta person, you need fruits. In fact, you're going to relish fruits. The sweet, nourishing, cooling kind of fruits, you're going to love it. The Vata people need it stewed. The Kapha people are going to like only the citrusy ones. Please continue consuming the same.
You must have substantial quantity of ghee every day.
Myth, if you're a Kapha person. Truth, if you're a Vata person. Your body is going to need that much amount of ghee, 1 to 2 teaspoons of ghee per meal if you're a Vata person, and if you're pairing it with green leafy vegetables or pulses and lentils. If your meal already contains paneer, eggs, or meat, you don't need it.
Starting my day with the warm water and honey.
Myth. It will lead to because you're not supposed to consume honey with warm water, especially that which is above 60 degrees. So have it with lukewarm water for weight loss.
If I'm really hungry and I don't have options, I should continue staying hungry.
No, you shouldn't. If there is nothing else available, you're on top of the mountains, I would say, please go eat that Maggi, because that will prevent the aggravation of Vata. Because ultimately, no matter what Ayurveda says, keep your Vata under check. So if Maggi is the only option, the piping hot Maggi is the only option, then you can have. That is not a license for you to continue consuming it regularly. Find other options. For a day or two, you can have that Maggi.
It's better I have junk food as opposed to continuing to be on an empty stomach or continuing to be hungry.
Precisely. In fact, junk food itself becomes an amrit for those people who have got erratic appetite. In fact, I have a lot of patients who say that they cannot have that khichdi and feel satiated.
Yeah.
They'll end up eating more.
Yeah.
In fact, they feel better with a pizza, burger, or even pasta. That is because they are in a state of imbalance. Okay? So treating the imbalance is the right answer. For the temporary relief, you can have that junk food or whatever is available.
So junk food may not be bad after all.
Yes.
Maggie may not be bad after all.
Yes. That's only if you've got no other option.
Okay, perfect. It's very recently that I learned that gut parasites have become a problem, right? And it's just not the case with children, but even adults have excess of parasites. Can you tell me how big this problem is and how do I know if I have these parasites or not?
You know, often when patients come to us with brain fog or high appetite but post-meal lethargy or itching at the perianal part just outside the anum at the night times, then we get to know that many of the health issues, be the hormonal imbalance, autoimmune conditions, or even the vaginal itching and even the skin conditions like eczema, psoriasis that they might be struggling with is actually coming from the parasite. The commonest parasite is pinworm, and the primary symptom that you get to know is with the help of that anal itching, the perianal itching that happens during the night times. This is because the female pinworm comes out in the nights and lays egg around the anal part. That is why you feel the itching, which is commonly found in kids as well as adults. Now, eventually, this can also lead to perivaginal itching, that is itching around the vaginal part, which could also be from the vaginal discharge, but this also leads to the vaginal itching. Paired with this, you can have lower abdominal cramps because of the presence of these pinworms at the night. This can also lead to excessive salivation in the night. So if you have been having excessive salivation at night paired with itching, then parasite is something that you should be looking to, especially if you have been having long-standing skin issues like psoriasis, eczema, or even conditions like pityriasis, wherein you have that shiny skin lesion, have not been going no matter what you do, then you need to be looking into the parasites in your system. Now, if you see, there are some of these foods that can actually help you out. One is garlic. Garlic, when consumed with honey, can help you. If you're not really fond of consuming garlic because of the spiritual reasons or because you do not like the smell of the same, then you can go for papaya seeds. They have also been found to have anti-helminthic property. Consume 3 grams of the same with 1 teaspoon of honey twice daily. You will be sorted. Another thing that you can do is start consuming pineapple because it contains a component called bromelain, which is again anti-helminthic in nature. So these are a couple of things that you can do so as to get started in getting relieved of the parasite infestation. But I would say it goes beyond this. You are actually going to need anti-parasitic herbs, flushing out or cleansing your gut, ensuring that you remove foods like jaggery, milk, curd, urad dal, and even fish and the like foods, which are basically heaty and slimy, which becomes a good medium for the parasites to thrive, just like the water logging, where these parasites generally go outside our body. So avoid the formation of these kind of medium, in which case you should be also avoiding idli, dosa and dokla, because that again gives us warm, slimy medium. Avoid these and then have these herbal remedies. It will take care of the parasites.
Okay. I cannot thank you enough, Dr. Alka Vijayan. It's been a fabulous masterclass. At the end of it, I think you must have felt like you've given, I think, the longest Viva exam of your life. And I felt like, I think I have a good command, or I could write a thesis report now, at least, if not a PhD report on gut health. So thank you so much. It's been wonderful. It's been so much fun. And I know there's so much more on gut health to talk about, but hopefully the next time.
Thank you. My pleasure, I would say.
Namaskaram.
In case you'd like to be a part of our online and in-person yoga, diet and spiritual programs, you can join our WhatsApp group below, where we post all our upcoming programs and give free tips on health, diet and lifestyle.